Hi, welcome to the video, diary tree or something. I'm really tired because I only slept for like 4 hours today, since yesterday I went out to the bar again and I am really bad at saying goodbye, which is funny because I have avoidant attachment. And yet I hate saying goodbye and I can never let go. What the fuck is wrong with that? Not the point. I needed to wake up really early today because I had a job interview. Got the job. Slay. Kind of knew it, manifested. It's not really that important of a job. It's just like at a furniture store. But yay, I'm gonna get money and I'm gonna get out of the house more. Also, I went to the farmer's market with my friends. It was really good that I went out on Thursday because then I've been seeing my friends for the past 3 days. And it's been really good because I'm also, back when I was with him. See, that's the whole point. Okay, the whole point of these video diaries is that I'm talking about him. But so, yeah, like back when I was with him, because he was so socially anxious. He didn't really want to meet or like go out or like hang out with people often, like rarely. Honestly, I think not even once a month with his own friends. To be fair, he did see them at school, but still. So, we would never really go out. Like I would go to the usual bar. A couple of times I would end up there, and it was only I think in like the last week before I went to England, he finally went there because I was like, oh, there are like people here. Actually, really like want to go there. Would you mind? And then I was like, oh, like I don't know. Like I'm not sure. Like you can go. And then I think he thought about it and was like, oh, okay, I'll go with you, because you're about to leave and I know you really want me to. So you knew that I really wanted you there. Okay, let's calm down. Peace. But yeah. What was my point? Oh yeah. So my point was that like I've been going out and just like seeing them and going out randomly and coming home really late. And I would have never done that if like he was still here coming over every single night. Because I would feel bad for like leaving him alone and like coming home late and everything. And it's weird because like we went to the farmer's market today, and for like the biggest part, or like for the first part, I was with 2 couples. Love them. They're great. I also just want to die when I am around them because they're couples. And I just think, it's just me between 2 couples, and one couple is also like Hungarian, and my ex is Hungarian. God, that feels weird to say like ex, whatever. And so just still like little reminders of being like, also like I realized I really want him to be at like the social events because I am terrified. Actually, I'm scared. I'm so awkward every single time when I go somewhere. Like I just get nervous walking in, like to see them. Also, half the time they're late and I don't know what to do. So then I would like him to be there, so I don't have to awkwardly wait alone, and I have somebody to talk to. But he never wanted to because he was more socially anxious. Can't blame him for his mental health, but also you just please. I also found it really anxious and like I was really awkward around your friends, but I still went. Whatever. Not the point. The point is that like I miss him at these events. Even though if we were together, he would not be at these events. Why the fuck am I missing him at these events he would never go to? If we would be together, I would also be missing him. Like, bro. What's made me start this recording actually by now? Usually, actually, I don't think about recording until like I start thinking, I'm like, you know what? I should make a video diary about this. But I just kind of calculated using an online calculator about how long I've been trying to process this breakup already. Because obviously for me, it was already before the breakup when like my avoidant issues really started. And I remember the exact moment that somehow, for some reason, it popped into my head. Oh, what if I don't love him enough? What if we're actually not great together or something? And I was at karaoke. I think it was like the first karaoke evening that like I had in England. And I was just staring at the screen and suddenly was like, what if I don't love him enough? Where the fuck is that coming from, babes? To be fair. There's a lot that I'm not saying right now as well. That I'm not going to, because honestly, red flag of me. Well, not really. Well, somebody who has lived life can probably tell me more about it. Anyways, what was I saying? So, yeah, and that was like the beginning of October. I think it was generally like 1 or 2 weeks of me being there, and like looking back on it, it was like, wow, that's really fast. But also the first week felt like forever for me. That felt like a whole month, because I did so much and so many new experiences in 1 week. Holy shit, of course it was overwhelming. I was just thrown into there, and then suddenly I had so many things going on, and I was like, okay, Jesus Christ. And God, there are people outside biking because there's like the football game happened today. I'm also yet again 4 hours of sleep, really tired, so distracted. But yeah, so I've been processing or trying to process this since the beginning of October. And mind you, in like the first like 2 weeks, I thought like, oh, maybe I need to break up with him because like I do not know if he's actually improving himself or something. Or I think like he wanted to run this triathlon or do this triathlon, and in my head I was like, oh, instead of like going to therapy, he's gonna do that, and like that's not really healthy for him. So I was like, oh, if he's not gonna go to therapy, I need to break up with him. Which made me bawl my eyes out. It made me cry so much. Like I was sitting in class, like alone in the classroom working, and I was just crying because I didn't want to break up with him. And then we talked, and then it was fine. But the feeling, I was not feeling fine. And like it was good for a week or so, or 2 weeks, and then I went to a concert of Lizzie McAlpine, who has so much avoidant attachment as well. Holy shit, that's why I relate to her music so much. Bawled my fucking eyes out. And then in that week, my friends also were like, yeah, you've been feeling like this for a month. Maybe you should go. And then it still took 2 weeks before we actually had the time to break up. And just, whenever I think about the time, I just feel so guilty. I feel so ashamed. But also I was just doing with the knowledge that I had at the moment, which was clearly not a lot. Did not really know what was going on in my brain. But yeah, so I've been in this process. I've been trying to understand this since the beginning of October. It is now the end of March. That is half a year. Half a year am I trying to process this. And to like because we broke up at like 17th of November. So it's like towards the end. So it's like a month and a half. It sounds so short, but it felt so long like living through that. Also like the months here back in the Netherlands, they go so much faster than in England. Like currently it's been 2 months since I've been back. Feels so much shorter than my entire like everything that was happening in England. But also, to be fair, in England I had so many new experiences that obviously my brain was trying to process everything, and then time goes slower. So I was not having a great time. And so yeah, like it's been 4 months now, 4.5 months or something since the breakup. And then once I come back in 1st of February, the breakup like truly like hit me again and stuff. So like every 2 months I just have like a different feeling, because in the first 2 months I was going through it and was still with him and like avoiding issues and like just feeling really bad, and like I had a really hard time like getting out of bed, and like had so much just depression as well, like thinking about it or doing all of that, and like also just with school and everything. And then I had 2 months where I was in England but single, and still like the breakup was affecting me, and I would sometimes be so angry, and I couldn't exactly pinpoint why. Like I was angry at the fact that he didn't change, but I think it's also I was angry um like I was angry at him because he had like this, he was so anxious, and I thought like he didn't want to change or like improve and stuff, and it just didn't work out. But I think I was just trying to blame him to hide from myself that it was actually my fault and like my issues. I was just trying to like push, like I was not thinking that it was my fault at all, which I think I was just avoiding myself as well, which is really weird. It's really weird how my brain works. Um, but so, um, wait. I needed to drink some water, and I also lost my train of thoughts. Now I lost my train of thought even more. Um, but so we, yeah, then it was like 2 months of this really weird, like sometimes being really angry at him, but also, feeling free, because it was like the avoiding, like, oh, don't have to be emotionally open or vulnerable anymore. And at the same time, feeling lonely, because I had nobody to be like emotionally vulnerable with, like in real life. Do I still? No. And also, my brain my brain always becomes or not my brain, I become so attention seeking immediately after the breakup. Like, it's absurd. I think my brain is just also trying to minimize the pain or like the processing or anything, and just trying to distract myself and being like, oh, what if you have like a crush on this person? What if you like daydream about this person and just do not think about the breakup at all? What if you just, you know, um, and then after exactly 1 month, I was feeling decent. I would say I didn't really like talk about it or something, but I was feeling decent, except for when I actually had reminders of him. And then I made out with somebody. Because, yet again, I was attention seeking, and also I was single in a different country. I was like, yeah. And quite some people have been interested in me. But then I went out clubbing, got drunk, got invited to go to an actual club, not the school club, on that Friday, like a couple of days later. And then there got so drunk. Also, like, Jesus Christ, that was so weird, because I think on that clubbing night, the first one happened on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, I needed to text my ex about like the Minecraft server that I have, and that was like the first time in exactly 1 month that we talked or like sent a message. And then I stayed up that entire night with a friend till like 6 a.m. or something. Woke up, had so little sleep, and then I went out clubbing that night with a guy that I met there, and then we hooked up. Like, I kissed him, well, we kissed when we were drunk. And 22 by Taylor Swift, that was kind of funny. I'm 22. Taylor's versions, of course. But so I kissed him while drunk. We were just kind of dating for like 3 days, and then like we needed to leave because it was Christmas break. And we kept on texting. That was maybe a mistake, but that was really nice for the most part. But that was, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, and then came back to England. Like, well, I was home for 2 weeks, which I didn't miss him necessarily that much there either. It was just a bit like, I think at some point we talked my family talked about it and I was like, oh, are you guys back together? That's a possibility. I'm like, no. Let's please stop talking about him. I'm sure he will give back my keys. I trust him still. And we didn't wish each other a Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or anything. And then, yeah, I came back to England. In the first week, I was like, oh my god, I have no friends anymore. And then I became very social. So, yeah, I don't know. We didn't really interact or talk or anything. I think like my feelings were kind of like the same. Or I had distractions as well because I was talking still to that guy that I hooked up with. And then I was kind of hanging out with my friend as well, that I stayed up with for the entire night. And then on my last night, and then at the same time, there were like some clubbing nights and stuff, and I was making eyes with this guy, with a different guy, like number 2. And then on my last night there was a clubbing night, and I was like, and I was really drunk as well. And I was towards my friends like, would it be really rude if I would go to him and be like, oh, you're so cute, but I'm like literally leaving the next day? And then they were like, no, go for it. So I went up to him. And then we just talked and we made out there, but I was so incredibly drunk that I do not even remember how we even made out or like how we got to the point. And to be fair, he was also really drunk, but I just remember that we made out at the LRV. I should probably not mention the name, but oh well, if you figure out where that is. And then we hooked up at his house. And we also stayed together like the entire day until like 9 p.m. or something when I went to literally leave the city that I was in. Like I had my big suitcase, I had everything packed up, and I left. And then I was like, okay, that's just gonna be hookah. And then we kept on texting. And then actually, guy number 1, like I went to Edinburgh week, guy number 1 came to Edinburgh. Fully knowing, like, so one, like I hooked up with guy number 2 on like Friday to Saturday. Then I was in Edinburgh from like Sunday till Saturday morning. And then from like that Wednesday till like Sunday morning, I saw guy number 1, fully knowing that I would see my ex again on that Saturday, like on February 1st, once I would come back home because he had my keys again. So my neck was covered in hickeys, so I bought a turtleneck. Onesies. But then like while I was in Edinburgh alone, I felt so peaceful. I hiked up like Arthur's Seat, and I was like, okay, I'm leaving like everybody behind of like my love life. This is it. Like I'm choosing for myself. And then literally the guy came over the next day, guy number 1. And somewhere in those days, like I think I laid on his chest, and like also the feelings were not the same as the first time. And like I was just laying on his chest, and then like it just hit me that I missed my ex, because they're not the same, obviously. Like I was trying to find my ex in these people, like trying to replace him with, and hoping that they were exactly the same. Of course not. Jesus Christ. And then I saw my ex. And then he gave back my stuff. And then it went downhill, buddies. Guy number 2 also came over, by the way, to the Netherlands for like a week at around Valentine's Day. But then also in that same week, my ex told me like, oh yeah, I'm dating this girl. Like officially, she's my girlfriend. And that was like the second time we spoke or like saw each other. Because that was when not saw each other, we actually saw each other. Yeah, we saw each other already in class. But then we didn't talk, obviously, or interact, or like I was just kind of staring at the ground, being like, going through it. And then, yeah, we saw each other before class, gave back his stuff. Then his girlfriend came over, didn't know it was girlfriend, and his girlfriend kind of left and was like, oh yeah, we're, by the way, officially dating. I was like, oh, okay. Since how long? I was like, oh yeah, like 2 weeks ago, when I came back to the Netherlands around that time. They haven't posted a, oh my god, happy 1 month anniversary or 2 month anniversary. So I'm still trying to figure out when the fuck they actually dated, but, or like when they actually became official or something. It cannot be on the same day that I got there because he had work on the day that I got home. So that's a plus point. But either if it's before or after, it's like, wow, that's insane, buddy. Anyways, then I ended up in a group with my ex of that same class that we had. And then like also the English guy, like guy number 2, came to my school to like so I could show him around on and like so we were standing in the canteen and like the dude is really tall, like guy number 2. And my ex is like the same height as me, and this new girl is like shorter than all of us. She I don't know, would come like here, I think. So, and then we were just kind of standing in the canteen, or like me and the English guy were talking, and then I just saw them walking off, and it felt so weird, and I was also so mad the entire time during class, because like, I was like, what the fuck? And I had no time to process this, because there was a guy in my apartment. So yeah, then everything hit me so much. I'm telling this whole story about like, the 2 month vlogs of like the 2 months where I was together with him when I was like going through it, but absolutely having no idea what I was actually doing, clearly. Then I had the 2 month vlog where I felt the most fine, but also I think I pushed down all of my feelings so much because I hated England. Like the hatred of England and like how terrible I felt was a lot stronger than like the breakup. And like I wasn't around him, like I didn't have any reminders of him, so it was a little bit easier to kind of forget him. I say that, I have thought about him every single day. There's not been a day where I have not thought about him. It was just in England a lot less, because then once I came back over. So now it's another 2 month block over, and these last 2 months have been the most intense and the most holy shit, like I feel like I'm changing emotions and feelings every single day. Cause like one day I'm feeling like, okay, I'm like, you know, you have all my love and stuff, and then the other day I'm like so mad at everything. And then like today I'm like, oh my god, he did actually date a girl 2.5 months. Like they started talking less than a month after we broke up. That's insane. That's insane. And like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't plan this. But like, why? She's also dumb as fuck. What the fuck? Why would you do that? She added, okay, so I do stalk. That's why I promise still I'm learning. But she added Lazy by Olivia Rodrigo to her playlist. Is it about me, girlie? Is it about me? Because I also added Lazy to my playlist. Which is about her. Not gonna lie. And so why would you do that to yourself, girlie? Because like I know they went to Vienna, and then they stayed up talking the entire night and train. This he told me, by the way, because me and my ex, we had we had one proper conversation of like 2 hours long about a month ago. So that was like the third time we actually spoke to each other face to face since I came back, and like not just passing, like seeing each other in class. And then I sent a voice message a couple of days ago. No, I'm like talking about feelings. And so, what am I talking about again? But like, so I know that they went to Vienna with friends. Then on the train back home, they stayed up the entire night talking while the rest were sleeping. And then a couple of days later, she invites him to her apartment. And I know that's on December 12th, because honey, I stalked your letterbox and your Spotify, and I noticed his song and his movie. That was less than a month after we broke up. Less than a month! And I know that I hooked up with a guy exactly like around a month after we broke up. That's hooking up. Am I dating him? No, fuck no. He didn't respect me enough, but he showed me really good child latte. Besides the point. And so, why the fuck would you date a guy or like start dating a guy that has been single for 1 month? Because the guy number 2, he was broken up for 1 month as well. And I was like, yeah, like, obviously, we're not gonna be anything. Because that's too soon. And both of us were in the exact same boat. And I wonder if she's in the exact same boat. But that's so toxic, bro. And like, are you insecure? I hope she's insecure. She watched my Instagram story where I looked hot as hell. She has only watched my Instagram stories once. But that doesn't mean that she stalks me. Or at least once. And it was in the sexy bathing suit that he bought for me, which I wore on purpose because I had a presentation and who would see me. I look good as hell though. I looked good as hell in Instagram stories. So like, yeah. Maybe I always wear red because that's the color of my flag. I am. Oh, I feel my frontal lobe developing. It's so. It's kind of mind opening to see how bad I am, and it's like also he's so nice. Would be easier if he just yelled at me or hated me, but it was like, no, I'm really hoping like for that you're being happy and healthy and stuff. Can we just hate each other? It's easier than this. Oh my god. Oh my god. You need to make a list of all the things that I didn't like while we were together, so I remind myself that we were not a good fit together. But then at the same time, that is the guy, like, if I think about like, oh yeah, no, he showed up to my work once, like, hi. It's like, yeah, okay. I met him while we were drunk, and we got to know each other better when we were getting stoned. In the Netherlands, it's legal. So like that's the guy that I fell in love with. But still, you showed up to my work, hi. But I get it. But like, oh, but like. The fact that I had to beg you to go to the local bar. The fact that I needed to do that so much. I'm like, I showed up to your friends. I know you have social anxiety. I'm trying to still also put some blame on him. But, oh my god. Oh my god. There are more things that I want to say, but I just cannot even remember. Oh yeah, you know what I hate the most? That he's living his life now, and it's like, I hate the most that he's so happy now, and that the breakup was so good for him, and it was like probably the best thing that has happened to him, because he loved me so that he was completely stuck in his way, and it was like, oh, this is the only good thing, I need to hold on to that, and it was just stuck in his bubble. Well, the only thing that I wanted for him to do was get out of the bubble, and I had to sacrifice myself to do that. Say that why? It's a very complicated thing. I'm very complicated. Just annoying. It's just I find it a bit unfair. I find it like I fully thought like that he would be a complete wreck. I was so worried about him. I thought he would go back to like drinking and like smoking weed and being high. And I thought that like I was always a bit scared that maybe he would completely spiral down and like don't know what I can say on YouTube actually. But not be here anymore. And like I was so worried about him at all times. And then he was sad for 2 weeks. And then you're fine. And then you're happy for the first time in a year. And it's like, so you couldn't be happy with me, but you also couldn't break up with me? Because you always said like, oh yeah, I am not gonna break up with you. I'm not a person who like breaks up. You know how much pressure that puts on me? You know how much... That's so much pressure. You put so much unnecessary pressure on me. Oh. 6 months of honestly feeling sad because of a guy that I really, really loved. I probably still do, because I'm still not over him. And I just want it to be over with. And I'm so close to accepting it. But I think about all the good memories, and then I miss it again. And like the ghost of him is still wandering around in this apartment. And I think it's only gonna be worse once it's summer. Because, you know, it was always around here in summer. If I came back in the fucking winter, it would have been different. Because I never lived here in the winter. And it's just... so annoying. He's so fine, and he moved out, and he doesn't have any memories of me anymore, only when he sees me when I post on Instagram or whatever. He's so nice. So much easier to leave if the person you're dating is toxic. So maybe I should get myself into a toxic situationship so I can forget about him. But no. See, honestly, the 2 guys that I hooked up with, they turned into situationships. Because we just kept on texting for like a whole month or something, and I'm still texting the one bitch that I did friends and everybody. Because I realized that was really bad for me. It was not helping me at all. And also, I didn't really want to date anyone. And also, I just don't want to date them. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship with them. I figured that one out. Like, we're not compatible in that sense. What was my point? Yeah, so I usually when girlies break up with a long-term thing, then the situationship afterwards hurt them more than the long-term thing. The long-term thing is still hurting me. It's been 6 months, and this was for like 1 year and 9 months of dating. Imagine if I date somebody for like 3 years or for 5 years and if we break up. Don't think I will ever recover. I don't think... Because, like, I remember when we started dating that I was so healthy, and I was like, yeah, you know, I know that I can pick myself up again after the breakup. So I'm fine with going into this because I got myself. And I was like, oh yeah, I think he's gonna be a mess. And now I am the mess still, and he is not. One hand, cannot wait till summer, because then I will never see him ever again, because he doesn't go out of his house. On the other hand, it's gonna hurt to not be in Hungary, actually. I miss the country Hungary so much. It's just funny, because while I was there, it was a bit overwhelming. But also, like, I'm gonna... Once, like, the last school day hits, it's like, oh, okay, this is the official goodbye to us, because I know we're never gonna see each other after that again. Like, what if there's not anybody else out there for me? What if there's not, like, what if that was the best fit for me? What if that was actually, you know, the other pot in my pie? No, the other pie in my pot. Pea in my... No? The... Whatever. You get my point. My puzzle piece, you know? What if that was it? And I fucked it. What if there's not? Because, like, there's so many people that do not fit well with me. How am I ever gonna find another person that fits so well with me? At least, I guess it's good that I'm looking a little bit forward and be like, oh yeah, there might be somebody else. But also at the same time, I'm saying, like, what if there's not? What if there's not? That's been my longest diary thing so far. Also, because the more I talk, the less I know what I'm talking about. So I'm really, really tired. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. See you probably tomorrow.